Hello, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, and welcome back to the breakfast show with myself. And oh, look at this. Look who decided to join us today on time, as always. Jose, good morning, good morning. Try not to eat your microphone. I don't know what's going on there. There is
good morning, Neil. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there is some static news, I think, from the cable or something.
Maybe. Wait 1 quick second. I'll be right back.
In the meantime, yes, good afternoon to some
Any
of
better?
us. No.
Do you still have the static?
Yep. Yep.
Sabotaging me.
Try now. Speak.
Testing. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Much better. Yeah, much better. So, good morning, good afternoon to everyone. Corey, we love it. Great work having my coffee. I just had my coffee, although it is afternoon here. But again, I think for coffee, there is no specific time, I'd say. Although in Italy, they do say no cappuccino after 11. So there is that.
So just don't go to Italy?
Go to Italy. Just drink your cappuccino before 11.
Don't tell me what to do.
How are you today?
Me, Neil, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited for the market today. I feel like we got some pretty cool news over the weekend, so I'm pretty curious to see if we hear any updates, any thoughts, market sentiment. Outside of that, I don't think, and we'll probably talk about it in a bit, but outside of that, I think today's going to be, or this week, doesn't seem like we have anything crazy. No earnings, no investor day, no AI event. So
nothing.
Yeah.
The calm before the storm, I'd say.
Yeah.
The calm before the storm.
Or it's just a trick and everything hits the fan this week.
I mean, we are nearing that July 9th deadline for the European tariffs. But yeah, so far it seems like that's not going to be an important day anymore. So we'll see. But yeah, we are now at the end of June, going into July. Second half of this year is about to start. We even have people watching from Australia. Hello there.
Oh, wow.
From down under. When does the first earnings start? I think we get ASML, TSM, and Netflix about 2.5 weeks from today or something like that. I think so. So 2.5 weeks of basically chilling a little bit and seeing how things work out for for the market. In the meantime, I can show you what's going on in Europe at the moment, European markets, and then pre-markets as well. So we have here Europe basically, I mean, flat to reddish a little bit. Asian markets also a bit mixed, but yeah, I'd say mixed. Pre-market United States, we are still green. So that's
Nice.
very
That's
good.
really good.
Very nice green here. Oil continues to come down, and even the 10-year is down to 4.24% at the moment. So yeah, market still ripping. Seems like nothing can stop it at the moment. So we cannot complain. I'd say we cannot complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Neil, I mean, pre-markets, is it just mainly the that Canada news, or is there some other excitement that maybe I might be missing that I'm not familiar with right now?
The Canada news, you mean the digital tax thing?
Yeah, So I saw that was the thing. It's like Friday, Canada was like, you know what, we're gonna be hard ass, and then we're like, psych, we were just joking, we're just joking. The weekend's over, we're back to being friends.
Yeah, I guess it's that, and plus, I guess we just continue. We just continue our way up. There is also more information here on the UK US deal. So UK auto spared under US tariff cut, but still is still in the question here. So yeah, I guess right now for the US markets, it's
because to me, like that UK US news wouldn't really affect too much, kind of like the tech industry, right? I mean, that wouldn't too much.
No, I don't think that would.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, Neo.
Let's me just adjust this. Voila, much better, much better.
So I'm just checking some pre-stock prices. We have Nvidia up about 0.4%. We have Amazon up about 0.5%. We have Microsoft. Microsoft is actually down on the pre-market. I wonder if the market's a little bit worried about the OpenAI, kind of seeing it as bearish for Microsoft, which I think could be. I actually do think that thinking is true. Then you have Google up about 1.5%, Neil, $181. If only someone had talked about this stock before.
Yeah, not bad, huh? Not bad for such a shitco, I'd say.
Yeah, such a.
I think something you touch your mic cable again or something.
Really?
Like it
stupid.
Goes on and, or maybe it's touching another cable.
Yeah, let me just be right back. Hold on.
Some technical difficulties, like someone said, from the tech shows right here. But yeah, Google back above $181. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit. We have a Google up. Let's see what Sofi is doing right now. Sofi is up even more now, 17.7% at the moment. Let's see what AMD is doing, $144 before the market opens. So we are still making our way back up. Seems like Palantir had a big red day on Friday, down 9%, it seems, but now it's back up to $136 pre-market, which means it's going to go back above that 20-day moving average. So yeah, there is a question about my target for re-entry, still around 65. I know it was at 65 back in April, but everything was quite good back in April. So could it be higher to consider? No, because nothing has changed in my mind that would push me to buy it at a higher price, unless, of course, the next earnings report shows even more accelerated growth. And then, of course, I could say, oh, I'd be happy to buy it at $70 or whatnot. But so far, it's still going to be the same. And if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. Still wear the shirts though, because those are quality shirts, I'd say.
For a second, I forgot Palantir. Is it any better, Neil?
Better, it's at 136.
I mean the mic.
The mic. For now, it's good.
All right. Yeah, I forgot Palantir had had shirts. So when you said when you were talking about Palantir and then you were still wearing the shirts, I was a little
Uh,
confused there.
Um, Hood is at 85. I think they have a crypto event in the south of France happening
Mhm.
pretty soon. I wonder what they'll mention there. It's going to be quite interesting for them. But this has been an insane run. This is one. I just said Palantir was at 65, but this was a miss from my part at buying Hood again at $30. Um, should have pulled the trigger for sure. Um,
Uh, and just we see some more good mornings. Good morning, James. Good morning,
don't tell me
Mr.
it's.
Mike.
Oh my god.
Let's see. So good morning to everybody still joining in. Neil still has the golden touch right now and pumping up any stock he mentions. Neil, when you see that though, as a content creator, do you get scared a little when you talk about a stock and it just kind of rallies?
Scared. I don't know if it's scared. It's
No.
more of annoying because I usually talk about the stock before I buy.
Hmm.
Because I mean, when we talk, and especially if we do it in a full article, then we have to wait a
Hmm.
bit before we can buy. So it's more of an annoying thing than a scared. Because I mean, I joke around because I really don't think that I play any part in the stock's movement, although you never know, right? You never know if an
Yeah.
algo suddenly focuses on one specific form or whatnot. But I mean, this one has already pumped before. I talked about it. Yes,
Yeah.
pre-market it's up another 5 to 6%, but it's gone up quite significantly before. And I mean, it's a very interesting company that um, might be super expensive or might be super cheap, depending on how well they execute and
Yeah.
how they can continue to grow. Um, I know the other one was on our watch list was Applied Digital.
Hmm.
I'm very surprised that this one has
Hasn't pumped.
again, yeah, has gone back down to around
Are, are
$10.
are they very similar to each other, Neil? Are they both kind of just building the infrastructure and having somebody else come in and roll in the chips and stuff like that? They just have everything ready for them.
Yeah, but I can't remember if Applied Material did any Bitcoin mining. Iron does.
Polite Digital. Yeah, yeah,
Applied
I
Digital, yeah.
think they did. I mean, I don't know if they actually do it, but that's where they started kind of the business, where they would be the renting of these warehouses for originally data center.
Yeah,
But if they
so
actually did it, I don't know if that's true or not for them.
yeah, so the other one, the Iron, they still do Bitcoin mining,
Hmm.
right? Because it is a
Hmm.
very good business for them.
Yeah.
That's how they basically use the cash flows from that to invest in the cloud business, in the AI infrastructure one, which they buy, of course, NVIDIA GPUs from. Um, so yeah, that's I guess that's what makes them a bit different than the others is that they
Hmm.
didn't ditch the crypto, the Bitcoin mining business at all. They just capped it at 50 exahashes, so the hash rate stays that's the peak for them. They said, look, if we cap it at 50, we save, I think it was $43 million or so in expenses, and we can use that to just grow the AI business from
Yeah.
there and still use the Bitcoin mining business as a form of cash flow, which makes sense, especially if Bitcoin continues to stay at $100,000 or so. They make some good money on the difference. So
Yeah.
it's very
And
interesting.
Neil, my question wasn't more of your superpowers as a content creator. It's more of just like, I don't know. For me, it's starting to give me vibes of a little reminder of 2020, 2021, where like any stock we mentioned, um, obviously it wasn't because of us, but just any stock you could. It was a market where you can just throw darts at any stock, and those stocks in the short
Yep.
term will do really, really good. But then you pull out in long term, a lot of those have not done well. I know we've talked about it in the past, just this past weekend, where you're still a little bit more cautious in the overall market. Is stuff like this the things that make you a little bit more cautious in the overall market? Seeing, obviously, kind of it is are a lot of these AI stocks the new meta verse stocks that we had in 2020 and kind of the COVID stocks. And this is coming from someone that's extremely bullish in the AI space, right? I think I've talked about it I think AI is a revolutionary technology, but sometimes seeing this, I mean, BlackBerry AI up last week, I think twice, was up over 20% in
Well,
2 days alone.
who's Black
Yeah.
Bear?
Uh, a Big Bear? Is it Black Bear or Big Bear? Is it Black Bear the song show?
It's Big
Um,
Bear AI, but
Big
I
Bear
guess
AI.
we can start a new AI company called
We'll
Black
start
Bear
the
AI.
new, yeah. But that's the thing, right? It's just it seems like right now you can have blindfolds, pick a random stock, and be the perfect investor.
Yep.
And then it's giving me, I don't know if I just have PTSD from 2020 and 2021. What's up, Matthew?
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100% because a lot of these companies, whether it's Black Bear AI, Polar Bear AI, doesn't matter which kind of bear.
Brown Bear AI.
Yeah, exactly.
We got so many AI companies names ready.
I do wonder why they chose like Big Bear AI. Like, what's the thinking behind it? But
I
anyways,
think they could have. I think it was maybe originally Big Brother AI, but maybe Big Brother
yeah,
wasn't. And
that
Big
that's
Bear
a
is that
definite
movie.
short.
Big Bear isn't that Disney movie or whatever
That's a
movie,
Brother Bear,
or is
no?
that Brother Bears? Oh, maybe not then.
Is it Brother Bear? Yeah, Brother Bear. Very
Yes, it's
good
Brother
movie.
Bears.
Very good
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, imagine you call to Big Brother AI. You're a definite short, man. This is never going to work out. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like if we have so many companies, uh, it's not just the Big Bear AI. It's a lot of the other ones, right? That are worth billions of dollars, sometimes even above $10 billion or so, and yet they barely generate any revenue or generate what $10 million, even $100 million. If you're worth $10 billion, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, of course, I am being a bit more skeptical about the nature of this rally right now, because it's definitely not a rally that is based on fundamentals for a lot of these companies. Not all of
Mm-hmm.
them, but a lot of these companies. I mean, this makes total sense. For Google to be back above 181 makes total sense, and wouldn't be surprised if we go back to $200. Maybe that might happen after they report earnings, but
I like Henry's one. We need a big bull AI.
Big Bull AI. That's also not bad. Yeah, or these guys, right? Poets or whatever. Also, all of these smaller players, I guess, can be easily also manipulated. I mean, it does seem like some pump and dumps type of movement, and yeah, it seems like we can be a bit similar to the 2021 markets, although overall, I don't think that a lot of the big companies are
Mm-hmm.
as overvalued as they were back in 2021. Plus, you have a bit more certainty. You don't have rate hikes; you will have rate cuts, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is some uncertainty around inflation, but I don't think it's anywhere near what has happened in 2021. Plus, there is no pandemic, so I guess that helps a little bit here. So
Yeah.
big names, fine. Smaller names,
Yeah.
I guess less fine right now.
You brought some great points there, because yeah, right now you have that tailwind that it's rate cuts will come eventually. And then you also have the tailwind, not the tailwind, but it's not, it doesn't seem like the whole market, at least I agree with you that big techs are still pretty not that crazily valued. And it's only the only ones I'm seeing these are pretty much in random small cap companies, or those below $10 billion.
Yeah, I mean, here's another one. I've seen this name pop up. I think you as well, QuantumScape.
Hmm.
And look at what has happened over the last couple of days. We went from
Yeah.
$4 and something to $7.50. I don't know what has happened there. Maybe an announcement or not, but clearly there is some
Yeah.
volatility in all of these smaller names
Yeah.
for sure.
QuantumScape, though, I mean, I've read a few about it. I've done certain reports, and this one, well, it has the quantum name. It's definitely not in the quantum space, and I know they're focusing more on a form of solid state batteries for EV vehicles, and they really are a little bit I would say this is still in the speculative play, but it's a speculative play that is showing some results. I know they have some great partnerships with companies like Volkswagen. I believe they have some manufacturing capability things that they are testing. So while I'm not bullish on QuantumScape, I think um, it's so funny because it has the name Quantum. Um, I don't know if it gets too much association with quantum stocks, even though it's more of a company that's focused on some form of next generation of EV batteries, or just batteries that can be used for other types of mobility products as well. And yeah, Robert, Walmart and Costco are very, very crazily. Those. I don't know the Walmart's
50 PE
valuation, but
value for a milk store.
yeah.
I mean, Costco is expensive, but it's expensive for a reason, right? It's a very,
Mhm.
very strong business that continues to grow. Free cash flow continues to go up, then to the right. So there is a reason why the market pays a high premium for Costco and has been paying a high premium for Costco for a long period of time. I think you're a member, right? I think you've been a member for a while, or not?
Oh, of Costco for as far as I can remember.
Yeah. So there is a
My
reason,
wife
right?
says if we ever move out of state to some other state, the state has to have a Costco nearby. There's two states in the United States that actually don't have a Costco. I would never live in any of those two states.
Which one?
I think one of them is either Maine. I think Maine is one, but I think Maine is just very very foresty, so it probably makes no sense for them. And I don't know the second state, but I just know there's two states without Costco's.
Short main. Short main. Michael here says Big Bear AI is a negative cash producing company. Okay, yeah, okay, that's normal with a lot of these smaller ones. They just landed 2 military defense contract. Their CEO was in military defense. They have a very similar setup like Palantir. I mean, the only reason I know of Big Bear AI is because everybody's comparing it to maybe a Palantir. Same thing with C3 AI. But the thing is, there's only one Palantir, and all the rest are trying to be the next Palantir or whatnot. I mean, C3AI was supposed to be, according to Dan Ives, the LeBron of AI, or I don't know what the heck he said C3AI was going to be, but probably something like that, the LeBron of AI. And I guess, I mean, it might be true. LeBron is bang average, but uh, starting here some fights in the chat. But clearly, he's far from a Kobe or an MJ. So always be careful when you see, oh, this is the next Nvidia, or this is the next Tesla, or the next Palantir, or the next whatever, because there's probably not going to be the next whatever you want to choose, and you should just choose the one that you want.
Yeah. I joined the stream with the wrong account. So I can't pick questions, but I want to take this question here from Kevin 821. Hey Jose, who would be your pick for data center cooling? So Kevin, normally I don't focus in this space, but if I had to pick one from the top of my mind, I think I would go more with like a Vertiv. The main reason I would go with Vertiv is even though they do this whole AI infrastructure. To me, NVIDIA is a great, quick alpha of information. And whoever they partner up really quickly is already kind of a great indication that they have a decent supply chain, that they have decent innovation, and that they have a decent path going forward. And Vertiv has this kind of partnership with NVIDIA, and I forget what other company, where they're kind of building. It's like the key solution to go with building these AI factories. So if I had to pick one in forms of kind of quick NVIDIA alpha, would be Vertiv. But at this moment, I'm not purchasing any. Um, and the stock, like Neil has shown, has really seen a massive increase. To me, a lot of these companies are just going to move like the overall AI market. So while it seems like, hey, look, I'm getting a different kind of exposure to a whole different industry, I think they will move pretty much like an Nvidia or an AMD or some other ones in the AI stock. So it's, in my opinion, fake diversification. It's not real diversification. At the end of the day, if you have a DeepSeek drama moment or a data center slowdown drama moment, this is gonna hit the fan like an Nvidia like AMD, like a Supermicro, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, this one has been, I mean, at first it has been hit quite hard, and then the rebound was quite fast as well, just like many other companies out there. But I really like the fact that Vertiv gave us such specific guidance in the midst of all of this tariff drama, right? They gave us like multiple scenarios that were very, very well prepared. So yeah, I mean, I don't.
I thought that was pretty insane, right? Yeah. For those that are not familiar with Vertiv, when I think their latest earnings was during this whole tariff drama, and they give you a scenario of like, what happens if 70% of the countries accept the trade deal? What happens if 0% of the countries? They gave you so many that it, to me, not only because it showed that they had great insight in their own supply chain, and I think that's very, very crucial in this space, where the supply chain timing is a massive moat in the AI market. So management giving that, I wasn't appreciative for the actual numbers. It just showcases the knowledge that management has and all this data they had with their supply team.
Correct. I will pull up something for you, and you can talk about this. I will just want to post something for fiscal. So in the meantime, you can just talk about this a bit, and I'll be back in a second with my mic unmuted.
Okay, bye, Neil. Get out of here. All right, so this was the news that kind of hit the fan on Friday night, which is crazy because news like this should probably come during the week and not after the market closes. There were reports that OpenAI taps Google in a cloud deal despite this rivalry of OpenAI and Google. And this is something, for those that are not familiar, that Neil and I have talked about in the past. We've kind of, I think in previous streams, have actually discussed this actual reports. But it seems Friday, it was the final confirmation that it is actually happening. So more importantly, with the deal, it did come out that OpenAI is also going to be using Google's TPUs. So the market, in my opinion, saw this in a lot of different ways. And maybe, Neil, let me pull up a quick slide presentation that I had so I can kind of share some of the thoughts of what the market was thinking. So give me one quick second. I should have had this up before. So with this AI news, let me just, all right. So that should be good. Share screen. So with this AI news of OpenAI using Google, I think a lot of thoughts were coming. First, good news for Google, right? And I did a few videos about this because I think there was great ways to discuss this topic. But I think this is pretty obvious. It is extremely good news for Google because now Google is the third player in the cloud server space. And winning a contract with OpenAI just solidifies their strength in the cloud server market. And this, in my opinion, is going to get maybe more AI companies to go, maybe I should start looking at Google Cloud Platform. So I thought that was actually pretty good news for Google. I think the market is also saying that this is probably very bad for NVIDIA. The main reason is because OpenAI is ending up using Google's TPUs. It means that they're trying to escape the NVIDIA ecosystem. Then there were also some thoughts if this was good or bad news for AMD. I don't think the market really has a true answer, and I think that's right because I don't think there really is a true answer for this right now. But I want to kind of showcase both points. And the reason I think I kind of wanted to talk about what we know about this AI space. And what we know about this AI market is we need more GPUs. OpenAI has talked about it multiple times in the past. Sam Altman has says whenever we release a new product, they either have to restrict how much of that new product comes out, they have to limit it because their GPUs are overloading. They have not enough GPUs. So this is still a market that's extremely supply constrained. I mean, you have compute needs increase from a lot of things. First, companies like OpenAI, they're getting more members on a weekly, monthly basis as more people are becoming more familiarized with AI. When you have more members, now you're going to need more compute to handle their requests. I also believe the average members are using AI a little bit more than they were 6 months ago. As you become familiar with the tool, you start to use it more, and maybe you started using it at home, now you're using it at your work, or vice versa. You started using it at work, now you're using it at home. So the average member is using AI a little bit longer, and in theory, token and more compute is needed. The final thing is thinking models use more tokens than prior models. So as we get bigger and better models, they actually need more compute than before. So I think this led to my crucial following thoughts that OpenAI is not leaving NVIDIA, but that the model market is just too constrained in AI chips and AI GPUs. That this is just a need for a healthy second option. So it is very good for companies like AMD, and it is very good for ASIC players. Now, what we didn't know about this slide, this deal, and this is what I'm going to end the slide, and kind of maybe we can share some thoughts in the comments or some questions in the comments if you guys have any. What we don't know about this OpenAI and Google deal is what workloads are being transferred. It's so easy on the top level overview, and I think this is why you need to stay tuned to these streams and to these videos from both Neil and I, is that it's very easy to kind of look, the AI market is getting easy. But it's important to note that OpenAI has various types of models. They have large language models, they have imaging models, they have audio models, they have video models. And within each models, they have different versions. They have some that are more complex, that do some form of thinking, and to do thinking in a few seconds, in a few minutes, some even a few hours. They have one-shot models. They have models of different sizes that only need to read certain amount of parameters. And this is crucial and leads to my following thoughts, that since we saw OpenAI, it's not using the most advanced TPUs, then this is OpenAI transferring less intensive workloads to TPUs so it can use constraint more advanced AI GPUs, being from NVIDIA or AMD, for the more complex task. So I think when news like this hit the fan, it's important to not take the titles to true, because I do believe a lot of the people that are writing these articles are just trying to find easy ways to get clicks. And they don't kind of go in detail with a lot of the information that is needed. So I do believe sometimes that creates opportunities for investors as well. But overall, it does seem like it is very good news for Google, at least for sure. And pretty exciting, as I think both of us have been some decent buyers of Google in the past.
Yeah, so this was basically the article, right? Exclusive: OpenAI taps Google in unprecedented cloud deal despite AI rivalry, sources say. The funny thing is that when we talked about this, the stock didn't move. The stock only moved Friday afternoon, which was quite interesting. But yeah, like you said, it's a very interesting deal, of course, for Google. Them not giving OpenAI their most advanced TPUs is also a strategic thing, right? Because they know, okay, OpenAI with ChatGPT, it's definitely a competitor for the search empire, let's say. But on the other hand, you know what? We have some TPUs laying around from the older generation. Why not? Why not make some money on the side for Google Cloud? It makes total sense. For OpenAI, this is also a way for them to be burning less cash, which again proves that Google Cloud's cost structure is best in class, and should probably attract way more customers in the future. Again, remember, Google Cloud, Google said we were capacity constrained, which means if we had more capacity, we would have grown faster than the 28.1% that they grew last quarter. So I still think, we are not surprised that Google is going up. Definitely not. We are still surprised that Google is not at $200 or plus, because everything indicates that, well, Google is doing exactly what it should be doing. I'll pull up some other slides right here. For example, if we look here at AI computing capacity for leading tech companies, we can see that Google is the only one that relies way more on their own chips, right, their TPUs, than on NVIDIA ones. If we look at the inference for Google, look at the huge increase, right? Total tokens, this is trillions. So went from 71 trillion in Q2 2024 to 634 trillion That's an insane amount of increase in just a small period of time. I mean, it would not surprise me if we are going to see Google Cloud reaccelerate and have higher margins already this year. I mean, margins are already improving. Last quarter, that was 17.8%. Over the last 12 months, that was 16.1. So it's definitely improving. This is going to be a wonderful business to own. And this deal with OpenAI is, I think, just them opening the door to start growing even more and more. And then next year, right? Next year, we can maybe start to include Wiz inside of that business, and Wiz will bring in quite a lot of business to them as well. So yeah, don't sleep. Don't sleep on
Yeah.
Google.
And I think you mentioned it good too, that the right, Google's not giving their competitive product out. They're not giving their TPUs, their newest generation TPUs to OpenAI. And I think that is for a competitive reason as well. I mean, they want to keep the best to themselves. But I think that's why OpenAI is most likely only okay using the weaker versions, because they don't want to send their best models and best workloads to TPUs either. They'll rather send the weaker down versions that are maybe hugging up GPUs from NVIDIA's where they don't need to be. There was a pretty cool comment that I got on one of the videos, and I think I explained it really well, is you don't want to use a rocket launcher to kill a fly. You can just use a fly swatter. So there are, I guess, there are certain workloads. So you don't want to overkill something, right? There's no point in using too much energy and efficiency on something that you can do with a very simple tool. And I think that's what's happening right now. That unfortunately, one of the main reasons OpenAI is very constrained is they have a lot of these small workloads that are just hogging up too much expensive chips, and they rather have them do more advanced, complex solutions instead. So why not get rid of those super weak workloads by something super cheap that Google is willing to give out, because they also don't want to give the best product out there. So I think this is a place where enemies can create great partnerships, where it's like never the best. Hope isn't for, yeah, RPGs versus fly is fun, as long as it's not inside your house. But I think that would definitely be interesting. I also like this comment from Clutch and Stick. If you can pull it up at 8:35, everyone is used to binary world, and I think that's the great thing about tech. It's AI can, it's no longer a binary. It's not a yes or no. And I don't think it's just AI in general. I think a lot of companies in this tech space nowadays is no longer just yes and no. I do believe the world is very binary, where if it's good for one company, it automatically means it's bad for another company. And I don't think that's how at least the stocks that I invest in work like that. So Fletch and Stick, amazing. Neil should say, hey, that should be in the shirt, but that's too long. So I don't know.
Exactly. Too long. Not good for a shirt.
Where'd
I
you
don't
go,
know
Neil?
what. Honestly, I have no clue. No, no,
I hear you, but I don't see you. Is this my
no,
conscious?
no idea where I
My
disappeared.
conscience has a European accent, not a Spanish one.
Um, we have a question from Fab. Do you think CEO change will help the stock, the Google stock, like bring back the founders? Now, the thing here, I'll share my thoughts first, and then you can go. The thing here, the founders, like they are back. Sergey Brin is back at Google. He's been working on the AI stuff already for I think the last year and a half or so. Not in a CEO position, but he's back at Google working. Sundar, I put him at the bottom of the CEO list, I think a year and a half or so ago. Was he at the bottom, or was Tim Cook at the bottom? Can't remember. But anyway, it was quite close. But today today I will probably promote him anyways, because 2025 they've been doing very well company wise. Again, the CEO cannot control the stock. I mean, he can pump it up if he wants, but the most important part here is for him to make sure that the business becomes better and better. And I think they've been doing that very well in 2025. I still think a lot of people underestimate how powerful of a company Google is, especially when it comes to AI. I've been seeing a lot more posts about Gemini. For example, if you look at this thing right here, Gemini CLI was basically, well, the new one was released not so long ago. And look at this. Look at this huge increase compared to an OpenAI codex or an Anthropic cloud code. In just 2 days, it received more GitHub stars. So developers love Gemini, especially the 2.5 1 Pro. I think the API is free right now, if I remember correctly. Don't underestimate the power of a company like Google just because the stock does not react accordingly just yet. It wouldn't be too crazy to say that a year from now or something like that, Google can be, I think, one of the largest company, like top 2, top 3 maybe, companies in the world. They are the most profitable one. So it wouldn't be too crazy for them to suddenly be worth $3 trillion or more a year from now or a year and a half from now, for sure.
I completely agree. I think about a year ago, I would have put Sundar pretty low in the CEO list. Maybe not a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. Whenever the whole bar drama was happening, because it did seem like the AI market was evolving too quickly, and Google, well, it had every key ingredient. It didn't seem like it was moving fast enough. It started to feel like maybe an Apple where they'll rather kind of hold on to their current market and not think about innovating. I think throughout the time, either because Sundar did do a lot more interviews or just started to discuss a little bit more, and we started to see more just innovation happening, my thoughts started to completely change. And I recently saw some like big fin Twitter said that they would really love if Sundar stepped down. And I was like, I cringed so much because I'm like, I think Sundar's actually doing a really great job in as the CEO right now. I do feel the fire under Google, and it has gone from a laughing stock in the AI market, like you just shown, Neil, to one of the best products out there in the AI space in less than a year. I think he's done really well. In terms of the founder question, I think it's better. He's talked about in various interviews that they're already working in the labs and they're working with the teams. Like they go in, they're very excited about this AI push. And I would rather prefer that from the founders, that they go into the labs, talk with the team, it's like, wow, I'm actually working with the founder of Google to build this new solution. And I would rather them do that than be CEOs, because with the CEO, you have a lot of other things that you have to worry about. You can't just worry about innovation. Now, if the founders are just coming in some form of innovative task, that's all they have to focus in. They don't have to worry about any politics, bureaucracy, or anything like that. It's just pure tech and on pretty much pure startup mode with amazing funding and amazing ranking on whatever you want to do. So I would put the CEO now no longer anywhere near Tim Cook in forms of ranking. And I would actually be pretty upset if we see a CEO change from Google. The only thing is sometimes the majority of the markets, sometimes analysts do have a lot to say. So I am worried that maybe sometimes you get a lot of pressure from to the board to do changes like this, and a change like that would actually rub me the wrong way.
I am looking at my post I made back in 2023, and I'm actually ashamed of my rankings.
I am out of here.
I'm ashamed of my ranking. Like, what
pull
the
it
heck
up,
was
Neil.
I thinking? But then again, it was at the end of 2023. So, but I will pull it up because I want to change this ASAP. Look at this monstrosity.
Yeah. Wow. 6 and 7.
Crazy,
I'm gonna add you right now. 6 and 7. You want to do a quick list right now?
The top two make sense. The top two make sense.
You know what, Neil? I actually number Microsoft, I think, is.
No, because remember when Satya came in?
Oh, am I thinking right now on the list on your mindset in 2023, or thinking of your mindset right now?
No. First up, just to understand why I made this list back in 2023.
In 2023, I can kind of see at least the first 3.
Yeah.
I can't exceed number 4. I am under the influence for sure when you wrote this. If you have number 4 there,
because back then they were they were still growing a bit and still printing money, and it was still fine. But Satya is number one here because he came in and Microsoft was basically forgotten when he came in,
Yeah.
right? They completely missed on mobile, and he came in and suddenly they became that. I mean, the biggest company, right?
Okay. I think, all right. So you're thinking about the whole landscape of thing too, as well, giving them their history as well, their
Yeah,
prior
no,
thing, not
for
just on how
sure.
things are happening right now. Okay,
No,
during
I gave,
2023. Okay,
I
yeah,
gave
yeah,
them
yeah,
the whole thing. Today,
yeah.
today, I would, first of all, I would put, I would probably put him as number one or number two.
I think, yeah,
I think Mark can definitely get promoted to number one, number two. Jensen will probably be number one right now.
yeah, 100%.
Jensen would probably be number one. Zuck number two, just because the guy is 41 years old.
I like Suck at number two too. Okay, I won't disagree there.
Satya number three, still. Still. Then, yeah, I think you cannot not put Elon Musk in the top five. So I guess Elon is still four. Jassy has been doing very well. I think he
Yeah,
started off quite rough, but he
yeah.
has been doing very well. And then Sundar and then Cook at the last place. But I do want to give Sundar a bit more respect. So he could be
Really?
going, like he could be
Yeah,
joined with Andy Jassy or something.
yeah.
Like,
If I was to give my list now, and it has nothing to do with historical stuff, it's just how the market is, not the market is moving, but how I think they're moving right now. I would put Jensen number one. I think Jensen is just a beast. Mark Zuckerberg number two. I think his hatred for Apple creates this amazing fire that makes the
makes us love
company.
him even more.
Yes, yes. It makes this fire that makes him not want to fail. And I think that is enough to drive some crazy innovations, making sure nothing ever. He's so mad at app. Number two would be Mark. Number three, I think I would go with Sundar. I think he has completely changed his aggressiveness in the AI space. And I think that's what I'm voting on. I think I'm voting on the aggressiveness. That's what I like right now, the aggressiveness of how they can really go in this AI innovation. Number three would be Sundar. Number four, I think I would put Andy. I think he's just mid. He's just mid. So he needs a number four. You don't really hear much bad or good about him. So number four, I think, is there. Number five, I think I would put. It would be between 5 and 6. I couldn't pick it. I don't know. It could swip swap. It would be between Elon and Microsoft. I think the reason Microsoft would be so low is because I think Microsoft has slowed down. They're not aggressive anymore. That's what OpenAI is going to other players like Google, like Oracle, like Stargate, because Microsoft didn't got scared. And I don't like being scared in this AI market. So Elon, I mean, I just don't know. As a CEO right now, maybe if you were to put me as CTO ranking instead, that would be different. As a CEO, I don't know if what he's doing is really revolutionary as a CEO. Maybe as a if he was a CTO or something else, the listing would be a little bit different. But 5 and 6 would be between Satya and Elon, and then number 7, Tim. No questions asked.
Yeah, so your list is more based on the current
Aggressiveness of
state.
AI. Yes,
Yeah, the
yes.
current state,
Yeah.
not what they've been doing
Not what
for
they're
the.
doing. I
Yeah,
agree. And I know you mentioned this list is looking at their resume and everything else. I think
yeah.
it's more like where we're sitting, at least within the past 7 months in the AI
Yeah.
space.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, with Elon, you cannot really put a number because one day he can be 1, the other day can be 7. So it's it's like that with him.
Yeah.
Because like maybe a year, 2 years from now, when you have like robot taxi fleets and humanoid robots walking around, then yeah, you can probably
Yeah.
put him at number one. But today, the rest here definitely deserve. I mean,
Yeah.
what the heck
And,
did I think?
and I think the thing with Elon though is like, I don't know why I feel like Tesla is I don't know how to say this. It's a company that can run really well with, I don't know. It's just a very I don't know.
autonomous company.
It is. It's very autonomously.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what people say, right? That even if Elon leaves right now, it could still work out. Although I would still say that there are some things where they probably still need him, but maybe they don't need him as CEO anymore. It can be like the chief engineer, just like with SpaceX,
Yeah.
for example. Um, Oracle is up
Robert, I think Zuckerberg can 1v1 all of them. I'm pretty sure he can.
for
Russell
sure.
just joined. Replace Sue with Elon. If you replace Sue with Elon, it would definitely be a whole reorganization. Um, Mark said Jose kind of had the same order as me, and again, yeah, never discount suck. I don't. I think the hatred of a man leads a long way. It
Oh,
can take you to super goals.
Zuck, if I mean, it wouldn't even be crazy to say that he's the goat when you talk about pure CEO. The fact that he is only 41 years old and you look at where Meta is right now is insane. Is insane because like imagine what he can do in the next 20 years. Like in 20 years he'll be 61 years old, right? He'd be 61 years old. That's what Jensen is right now. Say Jensen is 62. So imagine what can happen. It's crazy. It's crazy. One quick thing here: Oracle is up 6% right now, pre-market, based on this. Oracle is off to a strong start in fiscal 26. Our multi-cloud database revenue continues to grow at over 100%, and we signed multiple large cloud service agreements, including one that is expected to contribute more than $30 billion in annual revenue starting fiscal 28. Not bad. Not bad at all, I'd say. I mean, I guess I understand why it's up even more right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't the. I own Oracle, and this is one of those that I still haven't made a decision, but it's one um, I'm thinking of trimming a little bit, just because there is a little bit too. I mean, look at it, 250.
Yeah,
It's also
new.
not an individual thing. It's just my overall exposure into the AI
Mhm.
space has grown dramatically. So I have to find which ones I rather trim. So it's not more, it's like out of my whole list of AI companies, Oracle is the one that I'm like, you know what, I'm okay trimming this one a little bit more. But so it's not, it's important to remember when I look at my stock and trimming, it's more of an overall a portfolio thing. What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on this? I was gonna tell you to pull this one up.
Um, I yes, it has failed in the sense that it did not become like we're now not in a avatar state, right? We're not
Mm-hmm.
in a virtual state, but I do still think that everything they did, right, investing in all of these GPUs and AI
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure was the
Yeah.
smart thing to do. You
Mm-hmm.
might even say this was maybe a poker move by them,
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, we're only going to focus on VR, wink, wink," and then suddenly, bam,
Yeah.
huge data center build outs, all of the NVIDIA GPUs, and
Yeah.
we're back at the top of it.
Yeah.
Plus, they're still working on AR and VR because that's still going to
Mhm.
be a big thing for them. So I wouldn't say failed. I'd say expectation wise, it wasn't that realistic, but I still think it was the right move to do whatever
Yeah.
they did back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I think even when he was exclaiming the metaverse, he still said that a lot of this AI, these investments, I don't know if he used the word AI at that space, but a lot of these investments were going to be built for data centers to help their core products. So it seems like while he wasn't completely right at the timeline of metaverse, I don't think we can cross out metaverse just yet. I think there's still that possibility of it still being really big. It's just certain technology was able to come up a little bit faster. And what I think is amazing as a CEO is not your failure, but how you're able to react to that failure and make a shift. And it seems like they were able to say, you know what, we don't need to keep doubling down on something just because my pride is on the line. I see this other opportunity even better, and I'm going to transform to it a lot more. Um, so I think a failure isn't as bad. It's more of how you handle it after. And we see that most of those data centers that they build out are being used dramatically for their core products of things like recommendation system, the real solutions, and all the other things that they heavily monetize.
Yes, I do want to quickly touch on SoFi because yes, I did put it in the title and on the thumbnail. So
You had to.
what an
Up
amateur.
3%, Neil. Did you do a video on this one too?
No, I didn't do a video. I just covered it in yesterday's portfolio update episode. Basically, touched on these two announcements that came out last week. So, crypto is coming back to SoFi. So SoFi previously, and by the way, do check out our partner fiscal.ai for 15% off. Almost forgot about this. Almost forgot about it. So crypto is coming back to SoFi. You can now put yourself on the on the waiting list. If you, of course, use SoFi. Hopefully, most of you that watch this channel and this live stream do. So SoFi members will soon be able to buy, sell, and hold a selection of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Over time, SoFi intends to offer stablecoins, here again, focus on stablecoins, and a wide range of services, such as providing members the ability to borrow against their assets. Now, when this will be announced, it will be very, very interesting how they structure it, because of course, this is a risky asset. So if you can borrow again a risky asset, such as crypto, I would love to hear more about the details behind it and the structure. So they're going to expand also payment options and introduce new staking features. Of course, crypto is not new to SoFi. They had a crypto business before they became a bank or they got their bank charter. They basically had to, well, throw away the crypto business. Now that the crypto business is coming back, of course, we've seen how much money Robinhood is making and how much money Coinbase are making because of the crypto business. I do not want our expectations to be sky high because Robinhood and Coinbase are basically more of a brokerage type of player, I'd say, right? You go on Robinhood to buy and sell crypto or options or equities or whatnot. Of course, they do other things as well. But yeah, crypto can add a couple of millions of dollars for SoFi for sure. Plus, the attach rate can be better, right? Because if they can offer everything you need in one app, then you have less of an incentive to go somewhere else. So crypto coming back, that's great. I know a lot of you have been asking for crypto, have been asking for level one options, level one. So all of that should be coming back. I think options should be also on track for this year, although we didn't hear a huge announcement just yet. Then announcement number 2, and that's this one right here. Basically, I won't say attacking, but going into the WISE territory. So send money to over 30 countries seamlessly later this year. And here as well, you can put yourself on the waiting list. Later this year, we'll offer SoFi checking and savings members international money transfers in the SoFi app at faster speeds and lower cost than traditional services, putting more money in people's pockets. SoFi offers members many unique ways to pay, including via email, phone number, domestic wire transfer, a debit transaction, Zelle, and soon worldwide payments. So here again, SoFi expanding all of the products and options that you can that you can basically get inside the app. Wouldn't be surprised if stablecoins play a role here in that product as well. So other than those two announcements, maybe the fact that right now 2 cuts for this year, the probability for 2 cuts for this year have also risen compared to last week. Stock for SoFi, I mean, the SoFi stock has gone up. We're now back above $17 pre-market. We'll see what happens throughout the day and throughout the week. But this is definitely very, very welcome news for SoFi shareholders, for SoFi users, because this again is another way for them to generate more money, more revenue, more profits in the future, attract even more members, and especially make sure that the existing members are staying inside the SoFi ecosystem. So good news, I'd say, for us SoFi holders. Still very bullish. I have no intentions of selling a share of SoFi until we reach the moon. So yeah, very very good news for us holders and for the users for sure.
One thing, if I may, Neil,
You
when
may.
I see something, thank you. When I see something like this, where crypto is coming back to SoFi, I don't know why. Just the wording itself rubs me the wrong way. It's like, hey, look, we failed at something, but now that it's hyped again, we're bringing it back. That's how I would read it. I'm just saying that's how I would read it.
Hmm.
It is so. I wish they would have done the wording a little bit differently. Um, but now go ahead and school me. I know you're waiting. Go ahead,
No,
explain it to me
it didn't
like
fail.
on
They
fire.
just weren't allowed to have
Uh,
anymore
yeah.
because of the bank charter. So
Hmm.
crypto, I mean, the SoFi members probably know that SoFi had crypto, although they have grown their member base quite significantly since the last time they had that business. So saying crypto is back at SoFi also gives you that sense of it's coming back at SoFi. I didn't even know SoFi had crypto. So you get maybe a little bit more interested
Yeah,
in all
yeah,
of that. But yeah, they had a crypto business. They had to close it out because of that bank
yeah,
charter, which
yeah,
I still think was a brilliant idea to get the banking charter.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. I guess, yeah, I agree. I guess if they were still putting like crypto now on SoFi, I'll be like, it's now on SoFi because it's popular again. But I guess coming back to SoFi, yeah, I get. Okay, I think I'm just a pessimist in any way here. So there's no way they could have made it any different. So carry on.
we we have some other news from another. Well, I can talk about the local, can talk about Rocket Lab, but first of all, this Nebius news. We know that Nebius is going into the UK, but we now know who's going to work with them and the amount of Blackwell Ultra GPUs. So the cluster will compromise an initial deployment of 4,000 Blackwell Ultra GPUs hosted in a
This is
purpose-built liquid-ready data
is
host.
this a new state or is this the one they talked about
This is
a
the
few? Okay,
no,
the old one, the 4,000, because I remember that 4,000 number.
yeah, but now
Yeah,
now we know that it's with
the customer.
Arc
Okay,
Data Center
this
at this
sentence.
location for the UK. Like we knew they were going to the UK, but now we know exactly um, where it will be.
Hmm.
Set to go live this year with a total of 54 megawatts across two data center. The deployment is expected to be operational by Q4 2025. So pretty pretty good. Another fintech player announced that, well, if you're a Venmo user and you're still in college or something, you can get those cool looking debit cards here
Hmm.
to represent your team. So Big 10 and Big 12 enter historic partnership with PayPal to enable institutional payments for student athletes in new revenue sharing model. So apparently before in the US, if you were a student athlete, you couldn't be making any money. So
Yeah.
only the team or the institution was making money off of you. But I guess now that is changing. And so now all of the payments and all of that are going to go through PayPal, through Venmo as well. Here are some of the perks. So up to 15% cash back. I don't think it's everywhere, but for some of your favorite brands, free to sign up, Venmo, everything. It's a pretty big deal for PayPal. And Alex Chris said that they're going to try and expand it to all of the other conferences as well. It's not just going to stay here with Big 12, Big 10. They're going to try and catch them all, basically. And again, this is great. This basically means that more money will flow into the PayPal ecosystem, hopefully through Venmo as well. And now they can monetize Venmo much better than before. So, yeah, PayPal still one of those, in my eyes, one of those very, very undervalued plays out there at the moment, for sure.
Nice, nice. And we are getting some more reports. I know we talked about it earlier today, Neil, where the CEO of Oracle gave some good news um, about their overall market, and the stock is liking it. Stock is still up about 7%. Pre-market, nice.
Yeah, Oracle here, yeah, 6.77% or so. It has been, this is on fiscal.ai, my friends, 15% off down in the description and in the pinned comment. The stock has been doing very well year to date. We're now up 35%, probably a little bit more. Stock was down at 1.26% back in April,
Hmm.
but since then,
Yep.
it has been doing extremely well. It's not the cheapest one anymore, but it's still one that is expected to grow quite comfortably for the next coming years. Of course, with the announcement that was just made, I guess, yeah, growth is going to continue to accelerate. RPO is insane for that company. We can actually see it right here. RPO for the company is 137.8 billion dollars. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just nuts. And
Hmm.
the growth here is incredible for this company.
Yeah, and they mentioned during the earnings that RPO can grow another 100% this year.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean,
And it's not, and it's important to when you hear stuff like that is it doesn't mean they're obviously going to use a lot of this RPO this quarter or this year. So that means they're actually building dramatically. They're building not only the RPO that they're losing because they're going to be performing some of those obligations already this upcoming year, but they're getting even more and more demand that it can still double. I think that's wild.
yeah, now for sure. For those that are catching up right now, Sundar at 7. The list was for 2023, not 2025. Sundar right now is much higher than that. Just to make sure I correct the misinformation here.
Yeah.
Get community noted.
There were also a lot of questions that I've been seeing, kind of following with this most recent one from Learn Russian with Yark. Don't you think market is overvalued for the most part? And I think there are a few other questions very similar to this that's
When
like,
did where's the question? The
it came in at 9:06, so it's one of the last questions that just came in. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and we've had pretty similar questions this episode, where it's like, what are we hedging? Are we building cash positions and overall? So first, let me share my thoughts, Neil, and I would love to
Mm-hmm.
hear how you're kind of handling it. So, I mean, do I think the market is overvalued? I don't know. Is the risk to reward ratio on my favor for a lot of the stocks? I think the answer is no. So right now, I'm not really focusing in high growth stocks. I tend to I think Neil and I were actually both pretty aggressive during the down dip, and that's when we both got into a lot of growth plays. So at the moment, no way of wanting to chase any growth players. I did my purchasing during the dip. Now it's more looking at maybe some mature companies that I wouldn't mind buying into that probably have lower beta, lower volatility than some other growth plays. So I'm buying right now into things like Google. I wouldn't be opposed to buying things like a semiconductor ETF or something that I still want to get into the market, but not in a high growth name. So Google semiconductor ETF or some other type of ETF or index would be my approach. The other thing I'm doing is I am very exposed to the AI market, so I don't mind trimming. Trimming is the keyword. A little bit of stocks here and there to just lock in some gains and just maybe build up like a 5% cash position, nothing too crazy. So I'm not selling everything. I'm just maybe getting a little bit more cautious on any high growth names at the space. And I don't mind maybe being a little bit more stingy on what I'm buying and when I'm buying. So those are my thoughts. Neil, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Um, I agree. I agree with you. I didn't trim anything just yet, but I wouldn't mind like trimming 1% here, 2% there, just to yes get that extra cash if I'm not injecting new cash into the portfolio. But I'm not trimming anything just yet because a lot of those names I don't think I should be trimming right now. Like Google, for example, we add,
Yeah,
right? We
and
don't trim.
and just a quick correction here, Neil. I agree. I think a lot of most of my names aren't trimmable. There's only actually one name I have been trimming, and it
CoreWeave.
became CoreWeave. Exactly. Yeah. So every other stock that I bought, it's not like I was only looking for a 20-30% return. Those I'm still keeping, not really selling. But CoreWeave was nearly a 3-4x bagger for me. So for those, that one is easily trimmable for me. But I agree. I just wanted to let that make that small correction. So sorry, pass it back to you.
You didn't even have to make the correction because I was going to explain that part anyways. I was going to say that if I had stocks that did go 3x, 4x or so, I would probably also be inclined to start trimming a little bit. Um, of those positions. But yeah, right now I am of course adding to Alphabet. I've added to the local as well because I still like it. I wouldn't mind adding to PayPal, although PayPal has already been quite a large position for me right now. Of course, I did add a new company which is non-tech related, and that's purely one to get exposure to a non-tech company, and two purely because well the stock is down 51% over the past 2.5 months or so. So I'm purely buying this as one a defensive play and two a recovery one as well. They didn't put much. I mean, I currently only hold 10 shares, so $3,000 because I bought it at 3,000. Which yeah, I know it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot compared to the positions that I have in the portfolio, and I could very well add a bit more and see where it goes because the recovery here can happen pretty fast if the commentary at the end of July is a good one, right? Because July 29th, I believe, is their next earnings call. They'll provide more guidance, and if that guidance is good for the market, then it wouldn't surprise me if we're going to make our way back up to $400, $500 or so very, very fast. Not in a week or so, but we could see a very solid recovery, and I'll take my 40, 50% and move on, right? Put it back probably in the cash pile or something. So that's what I'm doing right now. Of course, if I can increase my cash position, I will, but I already did that at the start of June, so now I have to wait a little bit more. But yeah, there aren't that many positions where I say, you know what, it's so overvalued right now that I have to trim so much. You could, I mean, I'm sure you could make the case like, oh, look at Nebius, right? Nebius has more than doubled since April, and so it must be overvalued. But I don't know if it is $12 billion in market cap for a company where ARR is probably going to be closer to $1 billion for this year. It seems like they are growing extremely quickly across the board in Europe, in the US, in the Middle East, and so I don't see this as overvalued. I might see this as expensive or maybe right now maybe overbought. That's the thing. A lot of stocks are overbought at the moment. That's just a technical thing, because there are also a couple of stocks. By the way, for those that don't know why there is such a big difference, because this was previously Yandex and now we are a new company, so that's why you're seeing here a huge difference in revenue. So you can just remove that part by putting the slider, basically put it 2024, and then you see the projections. Currently there aren't that many analysts anyways covering Nebius at the moment, but you can clearly see that this is a company that is still expected to grow very, very fast for the next couple of years. So yeah, that's basically that. I do want to touch on two things. One, is your name Neil or Bruno? I'm too confused. It's Neil. Bruno is Bruno Fernandes, the Portuguese player that plays for Manchester United. It has become a running joke that you can call me Bruno because apparently I look like him, although I do think I look much better than him. But I am trying to get him on the channel. So this is a work in progress. Another thing here I wanted to touch on.
I can see it. I just Googled it. I can see it.
You can see it? Okay. Bonjour Neil, hola Jose. Good bonjour Frederic. He's from Canada. With Sofi, do you suspect Sofi will go back to $16 at any point? You know, if I knew the answer to that question, I would probably be chilling right now in Cancun or something. But I don't know. It can, right? It's not that far. It's at 17. So what is 16? $1 difference? It's a 10% difference, yeah. But I don't know. It can. But if the business continues to do well, I couldn't care less if it goes back to 16 or not. So that's that. Russell here, I saw the portfolio update yesterday. Your pronunciation of sorry perfectly. Thank you very much. I'm very posh like that. But Yeah, every time I have to read, probably you as well, when we read like press releases and suddenly we have to pronounce names or places, it's always like a flip of the coin whether we can pronounce it correctly or not. Sometimes we're successful, sometimes not. Like Gattuso, I don't know if you follow football or soccer in the US. Gattuso, Italian player, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That's what he said during a press conference. Pretty pretty funny one. Thank you very much. Way better looking. I agree.
Alex is coming in here with the clutch alpha that we need. There's no Costco in Rhode Island either.
It's all of those what is it, top right location in the US? No,
Yeah, it's too much forest. I think it makes
too much
actually
forest.
there's three, and I got it wrong. So it wasn't Maine. It was Rhode Island, West Virginia, and Wyoming are the 3 states that do not have a Costco warehouse location. That is sad.
But I guess isn't Maine and all of these places like places where you buy your second or third house or something? You don't really live there, or maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you retire.
I don't know. I'll tell you when I have my second house.
Doesn't Bernie Sanders have like 2 houses there or something?
I guess it depends if you want to be up in the cold or go down to Florida and enjoy the nice beach.
Yeah, maybe. Jose, here's a challenge for you.
How do you pronounce? Wow, that's I don't know. Worcestershire.
Yeah, I think it's Worcestershire.
I wasn't that far off.
Yeah,
If it's right.
No, right. It's Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Where is it?
That was even closer.
It's like Lord of the Rings. The Shire. Okay. Next to Birmingham. Okay. And why are we talking about this exactly?
That's how we go here. This is the show of everything.
This has turned into a GeoGuessr show.
I like that question from Storm. AMD, book profits or hold, please.
What would I sell? That's the question.
Yeah. What would I buy with it?
Yeah, exactly. Intel?
Get out of here, Neil. Don't do that.
No, I mean, sure, not Shire. Okay. Worcestershire. So maybe you write it differently. Who wrote these types of things? Now I know why I remember this name, because there is a sauce that you put on steaks and hamburgers. The more you know. We do everything on this show. If
the burger is good and the steak is good, you never need to contaminate it with sauce.
That is very true. Yeah, that is very true. You are in the headphones may help Bruno. It's his big ears the size of a Champions League cup. Yeah, the cup that he will never win. How
much would AMD need to get for you guys to sell out?
500?
500 now. Yeah, I think right now. I mean,
yeah, I mean, right now, market cap 233. So if today we were at 500 billion, probably.
Yeah, same. Agree. I don't know if you were talking about stock price or market cap. If like right now, for some strange reason, this company just jumped to a 500 billion market cap, that would be. Lisa Sue, thank you for your time.
We'll revisit it later down the line.
Yeah, we'll come back later.
Yeah, not for sure. Like if in 5 years we're at, or 5-10 years we're at $1 trillion, fine. Like,
yeah, I agree.
But today, no.
No, today, no. Today, it would have to do some massive rally up.
Yeah, just like back here, it didn't make any sense. $200. Yeah. Today, let's say we go to 300, 350. I'd also say no.
Yeah.
Like even if even if
200 makes sense for you now, Neil. If it was like in the next 3 months it hit 200, would it kind of make sense?
in the next 3 months, which means I have another earnings report and
Or
call where I
yeah,
get more information. It depends. Like if they come out with their guidance for AI revenue and it suddenly is very good, like it is,
yeah.
or they say, oh, we can double it to this year, then I say, you know what, give them the premium, because we know that MI
Open the
400,
gates.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we know that MI 400 is probably going to do even better. So because it's not currently, of course, the forward PE is now much higher than previously, right? It's at 35.5, but that's purely because analyst expectations have not moved an inch right now. So it might look extremely expensive, but the forward expectations have just not moved. And so the stock going up is definitely the cause of this 35.5 forward PE for the company. But yeah, I'm very, very exciting. Very excited for the next earnings report for sure.
Yeah, sorry, Neil. I'm getting a little bit of text from
No
the
problem.
babysitter downstairs, just making sure everything's okay.
Palantir is rotating out of indices or indexes. I think you can say both. I don't know. Reason for the 10% drop, it's up 6%, $6 in real time. Yeah, I know. Pre-market, it's up 4.7%. Correct. Did we talked about this stock, I think, once, Samsara. I think IoT. It's, I don't know why I've heard this
We
stock
got cheers
before.
from Georgia. I don't know if Georgia the state or the country. Regardless, thank you from the cheers from Georgia.
Georgia is a very nice place in the United States, and the country as well. Very nice mountains.
Yeah, both have nice mountains.
Yeah. Should maybe do a. I have a Starlink Mini, so if we ever choose to do a live stream on the
Unless
roads,
I gotta get me one of those. No, never mind.
uh,
Any thought? I like this one. I'm at SSSB. Any thoughts on Indie Semiconductor? I don't really follow it too much. I just do know it is very exposed to the automotive space. It focuses a lot. Oh, and sorry, I know we were going to talk about this one. Samsara IoT. I was taking a closer look at another question here, Neil. So,
which one?
Indie Semiconductor. I think the ticker is
But
IN.
This one came after.
Kim first. All right. We'll do that one. You go. I don't know much about this one.
I don't know much either, but luckily we have Fiscal AI to help us out here to
Yep.
see what the growth has been like for them. Seems like it's been quite solid, above 20%, and it's still expected
pretty
to
strong.
grow above 20% for. I'm pretty sure we covered this once, because I've seen this name before.
If you can do me a favor, Neil, can you go to the transcripts?
I could.
For Investor Day 2025, and then go to custom summary. I just want to know, again, I don't know this company, so if you could just put what are the main growth opportunities. And luckily, I'm also pretty impressed how quickly it does it. I feel like sometimes in main growth opportunities, focusing on market penetration.
Growth opportunity, okay, cool, but give us maybe
Telematics, North America.
So commercial vehicles not yet utilizing these technologies, specifically 50% of commercial vehicles in North America do not use telematics. Yeah, actually, it makes sense. And 90% do not use video-based safety. Okay, interesting.
And the great thing is on the right, we can kind of just click the slide super quickly.
I do wonder.
Maybe they can give us a.
I do wonder if they work with any big autonomous vehicle players. Let's see. So, okay. So I guess it's in the transportation type of business.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's see.
So is it more of a platform? It's just so weird because the name IoT obviously
Yeah,
is considered Internet of Things, but it seems like it's more of a platform space.
it seems like a platform space, like a
Yeah, and that
platform where
platform
you get,
focus on the
yeah,
market that you were just
on all the, so basically all of the data. Very, very interesting. I'm surprised this has not been acquired by one of the big players.
yeah. So it looks like a logistics platform company. Like helps with a lot of the
It
because
provides solutions that connects operations data to its connected operations cloud. So yeah, it's operations data. The company connected operation clouds includes data platforms which ingests, aggregates, and enriches data from its IoT devices. So it's also selling hardware, I'd say,
hmm
and it has embedded capabilities for AI workloads and analytics. Okay. Uh, Very interesting, because I mean it's definitely not one of those companies that just talks about AI and autonomous vehicles
yeah.
and whatnot and does nothing.
And I can kind of see that bullish take, kind of like how I've
I mean,
discussed in Uber a little bit, where it's like if you have all this data and if you're kind of working in some of the logistics aspects of it, it can help completely um, increase that market dramatically. So not following it, but I guess on a quick top level, I can see the excitement for it, especially during this AI era.
yeah, and then it's already making money. So I mean,
Free
free
cash
cash
flow.
flow, and it's
Yeah.
so very interesting. Maybe
Question,
something.
Neil, can you pull up stock-based compensation there just to see if it's net positive? Should
Not
be
should be
it should be in
searching
cash flow statements in the first one. Do they not have any?
here.
Up
I was
up
just
a little.
doing
There you go.
the
Yeah.
control F, but quite a lot.
Okay.
I mean, quite a lot. It's a
Yeah,
quarterly.
so 2104, it's a platform for tracking data of different industrial companies and metrics, tracking data for them to help reduce cost, improve. Yep, so it's kind of like the platform aspect of it, but using the hardware to collect all that data to increase their platform technology.
So I mean, this is revenue and stock-based compensation. So it seems like stock-based compensation
Pretty
has
flat, plateaued, kind of,
yeah,
if that's what you're
revenues
gonna
have
say.
increased faster, basically.
Yeah.
Revenues have increased faster than that. Okay. Okay.
I mean, the company makes. I mean, it makes sense, and I do. I think one of the cool things is right now, if they are focused in AI space, a lot of companies are not gonna have a team to focus on a tech space, so they'll kind of outsource a lot of these solutions, and maybe this is where Samsara can benefit from, for those non-tech companies going like, look, I'd rather go with you and help me out with our logistics.
Yeah. Before we go and answer the indie one, let me really quick pull up the market open, my friends. We have reached the market open stage of this episode. Currently, before it opens, markets are still green. Europe is red. Voila. Now you know. Now you know. So this was basically the close on Friday. Just so we are all on the same page. This is the year-to-date performance across all of these stocks. Apple down
Mm.
19%. Love to see it. Google still down 6.3. Don't love to see
Love to
that.
see it, to buy it.
IBM is up 30.
Yo,
That's
Netflix is killing it. Holy smokes.
Netflix has been insane. Where's the daily here?
All those damn price hikes.
Yeah, but price hikes with value, I'd say. So the market has opened. Imaginary bell, imaginary. It's
Now we
probably
gotta wait a bit, but let me just
yeah.
pull up on my trading view really quick to see anything. I want to see if Oracle is still holding on to some gains. Palantir's killing it, up 5%. Um, Well, it was when I looked at it. Now no more. Maybe not anymore. Yeah, no. Palantir up 5%. Nebius up about 4.5. Reddit up about 3.6%. In the chip market, what are we seeing in the chip space? We see Oracle up about 7.5%. Nothing too crazy in the semiconductor industry right now.
Google's still up above the
Nice.
180, so that's nice. All right, let's
Yeah,
go check the
I think Broadcom
updates.
is liking that Google news. Broadcom is up about 2.6%. Because Broadcom is the one that helps Google kind of make that those
CPU. Yeah.
CPUs. Yep.
Let's see. Palantir is the one that's up the most. Hood is up another 4% or so. Very nice. Rocket Lab another 6%. What the heck is going on there? Rocket Lab up 5.6. Nebius up 4.6 as well. Reddit, wow, Reddit is making its way back up nicely,
Yeah, this is wild.
4.5%.
150. I knew it at 100. I should have looked at this one.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at it, I covered it, I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
Let's see.
But
For some reason, HPE is up about 12%. This is one that focuses in kind of like the data center server makers and builds laptops and desktops, I believe, as well. So I wonder what they had over the weekend that caused this to jump.
HPE,
Yeah.
also a deal or something, maybe. Let's see.
HPE.
Micron is down.
Oh, I
0.7.
remember there was this the merger case over HPE and Juniper deal, I think, finalized, and I think there is they're able to do the merger. There was some acquisition that kind of got some fire from antitrust issues, and it seems like those issues are over.
Okay, fair enough. Oracle up 8%. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense if you can add $30 billion. I guess it makes sense for sure. So all in all, it seems like we're having another great day today. Yeah, if we thought we were going to get a dip, it's not going to happen anytime soon. That's for sure. But who knows? Who knows if we go with high expectations into this earnings season, the upcoming earnings season, any miss will definitely be punished with a nice little drop. And again, July 9th deadline, yes or no, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but there are some stocks that are due for a pullback, and I welcome any pullback on specific names. Not all of them, on specific
Yeah,
ones.
I agree. There's some pullbacks I could care less about.
Exactly.
A lot of pullbacks I could care less about.
Exactamundo. So, with that said, we will continue to have a great day today. We will, of course. Are we back? No, we're
No.
no.
I'll take the hit on this one, yeah.
Yeah, well, no problem. So we will be back tomorrow morning, as always, with some more news. Hopefully, some more greens. It's a beautiful day. It's a very hot day here. I think it's a hot day everywhere in Europe, and I think in the US as well. Luckily, there is Wimbledon that has started. So, I love it. I love it. It's summer. So, anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed this show. Thank you all for joining us today on X and especially on YouTube. We shall see each other back tomorrow, bright and early. So, have a good day, have fun, and see you all